My husband left me stranded at Paris airport for his ex. I emptied his credit card and used it for. The moment the announcement crackled through the speakers, final boarding call for Flight 283 to New York, I knew something was wrong. My husband, Daniel, had disappeared 20 minutes earlier, claiming he needed to grab a quick coffee. I stood at the gate, luggage by my side, waiting, and then I saw him. Not rushing back toward me. Not carrying a paper cup. But walking hand in hand with her. His ex, Vanessa. My heart dropped into my stomach. She was laughing, her head tilted toward him as if they were already lovers again, as though the last 5 years of my marriage had been nothing more than a placeholder in his story. They didn't even glance in my direction as they slipped through another corridor, leaving me standing at the threshold of a flight we were supposed to take together, our long-awaited anniversary trip back home. I felt frozen, betrayed, and utterly humiliated. But then something unexpected happened. Instead of collapsing under the weight of his abandonment, a strange calm washed over me. I reached into my bag for my phone. A string of messages lit up my screen. Daniel's smug little note sitting at the top, "Don't wait. I'll explain later." Explain later. He'd just left me stranded at Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport, thousands of miles from home, for his ex. And I was supposed to just wait. No, not this time. I noticed his wallet sticking halfway out of the side pocket of the suitcase he had dumped beside me before vanishing. My fingers brushed against the cold plastic of his platinum credit card. It wasn't planned, but at that moment, a fire lit inside me. If Daniel wanted to humiliate me, I would not only survive, I would thrive. I took the card and walked straight toward the luxury concourse. First stop, Dior. The saleswoman greeted me with a smile, unaware of the storm raging inside my chest. I slipped the card onto the counter, my voice steady. "I'll take that handbag," I said, pointing to the one Daniel had always said was too expensive and impractical. Then came Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Cartier. Each purchase wasn't just retail therapy, it was revenge, layered in silk, leather, and diamonds. For every insult Daniel had whispered behind closed doors, for every time he'd made me feel small, I gifted myself something extravagant. By the time I was done, I was striding through the airport with shopping bags draped over my arms, looking less like a deserted wife and more like a woman reborn. And it didn't stop there. Instead of boarding our flight to New York, I bought myself a first-class ticket to Santorini. A place Daniel had promised to take me for years but always found an excuse to avoid. As I sipped champagne at the gate lounge, watching my original flight take off without me, I realized I wasn't abandoned. I was liberated. Santorini was everything I needed. Blue skies, whitewashed houses, waves crashing against the cliffs. For the first time in years, I woke up without feeling invisible. I dined at seaside restaurants, explored hidden coves, and even allowed myself to laugh again. Strangers became friends. My broken heart, once shattered by betrayal, began to stitch itself together with each sunrise over the Aegean Sea. Meanwhile, Daniel's credit card kept singing in my wallet. But it wasn't just about the money, it was about reclaiming the power he thought he had over me. Every swipe was a reminder. He had left me stranded, but I refused to be the victim of his choices. Then came the phone calls. At first, I ignored them. Dozens of missed calls, hundreds of texts. His tone shifted from arrogant to desperate. "Where are you? We need to talk. You can't just steal my card. Please, come back. I made a mistake." A mistake? No, a mistake is forgetting to pick up milk at the grocery store. Abandoning your wife in a foreign airport for your ex was a decision. One night, as I sat overlooking the caldera with the sea breeze brushing against my skin, I finally answered. His voice cracked through the line. "Emily, I'm sorry. Vanessa was just. I don't know what I was thinking. Please come home. I need you." I let him ramble, his words dripping with regret, but my silence cut deeper than any argument ever could. Finally, when he paused, I said softly but firmly, "You don't need me, Daniel. You just need someone who won't leave you stranded when life gets inconvenient. That's not me anymore." And then, I hung up. Weeks later, I returned to New York, not with Daniel, but with a new version of myself. Stronger, wiser, independent. I had already hired a lawyer, and with every statement of his emptied credit card, I had a neat little record of his betrayal fueling my case. But beyond the legal battles, beyond the money, I came back with something priceless: freedom. I had discovered that betrayal doesn't have to be the end of your story. Sometimes, it's the beginning of a new one where you are no longer defined by someone else's choices, but by your own courage to rise above them. So, yes, my husband left me stranded at Paris airport for his ex. But I used that moment, the lowest point of my marriage, as the launchpad for the greatest chapter of my life. And in the end, the best revenge wasn't the handbags, the diamonds, or even the sunsets in Santorini. The best revenge was becoming the woman he could never again afford to lose, yet would never again have.